back everybody, or welcome to your first video. As I said before, where have you been? Anyway, so we've completed the installation of this light kit into the back of our front of the Volvo. It works very nice because it uses the original Tamiya lenses. Tamiya just the world's best at making plastic fit into plastic. So you can see my black painted edge now sits proud on there, but this little diffuser, when it goes over that LED, the little brow indicator if you like, will sit on there. Now I'm in two minds. There is a silver bit that sits underneath this to actually paint this black under here, the shape of this lens, just so I end up with this nice same black effect on here, but that's a personal preference thing. So we're going to do a quick light up test. Now these lights, let me grab the manual, will work from 7.2 to 12 volts as stated on the front of here somewhere. There you go, 7.2 to 12. It's in English down here. Daytime running lights, optimize light pipes. They're the features. That's the light pipe. To me, it's a piece of plastic shoved in. Ignore this. This is not to scale. This is for trimming this part of the front of the truck so that when this goes in, it doesn't hit the rear lights. They do give you this one, which is to scale. And I'm not going to show you trimming metal because one, it makes a mess, and two, I'm sure you can figure out that you put that on top of there, mark a line and cut it off. Junior hacksaw that way, and then there would be enough. Dremel, whatever tools you have. So working on this diagram here, we have these wires here. So I have my little 7.2 pack here. The red wire is positive, so that goes in the red. Now excuse me a second, I had a brush earlier, which I figured out that once I shove the wire in, keeps my wire nicely in my red connector. Also gives me something to hold this so I can show you how they all work. So I think what I'll do is I'll turn the light off on my lamp, and we do a bit of wobbling on the camera, and we'll go through these wires in sequence and we'll see what they look like. Right, give me a second, I'll just switch this off. So it's still daylight where I am, I'm working during the day, not at night. So the first one, red common into red on the connector here. So you can see red to red. I've just got a paintbrush shoved in the hole to keep it in place. So the first one is the indicator, which is the yellow. So that goes in the negative. So if I put that in there, you can see that lights up down that valley and out the back. Now the one out the back is pretty bright, and I think the light is pretty much overpowering the camera. But if I try and simulate some sort of indicator effect, sorry, I'm getting a bit flicky here. So that would be your in there. So next one is the exciting one. It's the daylight running lights, which is the pink. So again into the negative, we have that. Now let me just try and see if I can shadow that a bit more. Ironically, the sun's just come out. It's nice and bright here. So you get the nice white tick down here. So if I combine that with the indicator, it lights up. So there is on the indicator, it only lights up in here. This part here is just left chrome. So I will show you the running lights again and again with something else. So the next one is the parking light, which is green. Okay, so I've not powered this up before. I didn't know that did that. So we have two lights for the same. So one set of lights for two different functions. So we have that, which is dim. Believe me, it is dimmer. That's your daylight running lights, and then that is your parking lights. I don't know if you can see. It gets slightly brighter. So if you're in just the running the parking lights, you'll park like that, and you don't run lights like that. To me, I'd probably reverse them and put the brighter lights for daylight running and add the parking lights dimmer, because why would you want brighter lights when you're parked up? Hey ho, I didn't write the manual. Next one is violet, purple, which is the low beam, which is there. Now that is pretty intense. And that comes through the biggest diffuser in the front of the light. Okay. And then we have the blue, which is the high beam, which is the light at the very top. So that really does light up bright, and with that little diffuser it really does focus the light out. Okay, and then our final wire is the black, oh no, sorry, not final, one from final, penultimate, is the cornering light. So that's the light on the left. So it'd be interesting to see how these work with a reduced voltage, because the BAIR or BAIR, whichever you call it, the SFR1 has a cornering light that actually lights up with a reduced voltage to give you that effect of it coming on and going off. And then our final light is the white light, which is the fog light. So we have cornering, fog, parking, daylight running, turning or indicator. We have low beam and then high beam. So let's put the pink back in again, like that, because you would typically have the daylight running light in, and you might have your front fog lights on as well. There you go. And if you're driving during the night time, you would have your low beam on, which is the purple one, or violet as they call it. Call it whatever you want. So we now have that. And then when somebody gets in your way and you want to alert them that they've just cut you up, you can shovel those in there. I'm trying to get like 5 wires into one connector here. You can flash your main beam at them. And then the only lights that are left are the turning signals. And your cornering light, which is down here, and then your other lights. So hopefully that's excited you and got you wanting one of these kits. Just put my light back on. So we end up with that. So it looks very nice. It's quite nice. I wasn't sure about painting the chrome black. I'm thinking Tammy will give you a chrome part, but then Tammy will also tell you to paint this part black. So that would be your original. So your original, you can have a fog light, you can have a cornering light. That is your indicator, which is literally a hole. We have a whole diffuser that lights up this whole panel. So I'm guessing theirs lights up that section. There's your main beam, or your dipped beam, and then your main beam. So it's main, dipped, turning or indicator. Sorry, indicator or turning light. Indicator we call them in this country. Turning light and fog light. As with this one, we have 2 functions on the nice bright tick, but this has the shape for the tick, but it's just in chrome. Now you could maybe drill a hole in here and make it light up white, but why not get yourself the proper kit? Now they retail for around about €100. I don't know where you can get them in the UK. I got mine from Germany, but for the quality of the work that goes into there, the fact that it has a nice rubber boot on there and it really is a nice robust unit, you can't go wrong. I'm not sure what this connector is for. There's 2 pins on it. Once I've got it all powered up, I may put a meter on here and see what this does. Maybe that's a connector for spurring off to a running light that's further back on the truck. So just going back to this final part, because I've got time in this video. This part here needs trimming because this screw hole of this and this, when it's on the original truck, so you can see that on its original screw hole catches, which is why they tell you to trim off that corner. Because that corner, if I lay this down, if I put that on the screw hole, that corner is literally, do it with my pencil, is there and there. So you can see that that is the shape of that circuit board. So with that on there, that will sit down where it's supposed to and actually sit up against this unit here. And as I say, they don't say the paint is black, they just say to paint the front. I actually painted the whole thing and I think it looks quite nice. So hope you enjoyed that video and it helps you out. There's a couple of little things to look out for, certainly when drilling this hole. They do give you quite a bit of this enamelled wire, so it might be beneficial to either, before you put it for the hole, go around this loom a few times, because the plate sits down here so it shouldn't get in the way. So you end up with just enough so it comes from here, around here and out for the hole, because this ends up facing backwards, just poking through there. So you don't need all this great big length of enamel wire. I think they give it to you because trying to poke a little bit of wire from here to here through that hole once this is in might be tricky. But as you can see, they're very nice units. These are all the transistors. They're transistors, or no, they must be, I don't know, diodes must be in it. Don't know why you'd need extra diodes. They've got diodes in there. Maybe they're stop you feeding it backwards. There's only 2 pins, and so they've either got resistors or transistors. Capacitors are normally like this, which is what they are. They're the transistors there. And we have some chips here, and some other resistors here. And so this connector doesn't say what it is for. And that's it. So, oh, and anybody else who wants to know, I didn't cover this in my unboxing video. The wiring loom, my mat is 27 centimeters long, so the wiring loom is 27. Let's go from the top of what they call the bumper bar. 27 plus 7, 34. So these are 34 long, but that is certainly should be long enough to come up the front of the truck, up around and around to any kind of MFU, PA module, whatever you want to call it. You could obviously just bring this to a termination bar and run them somewhere else. So you say, be careful, these enamelled wires. I just caught mine with the loom and give it a ping. So as to say, what I might do, you can actually get that out of there without catching them on the front. You don't need to put them tight, it's literally just to take up the slack. And they probably tell you not to do this because you shouldn't wrap wires that carry current because it generates magnetic forces, but I'm sure for this size of wire it's not going to make that much difference. So I can get my tweezers. So there are obviously parts of the Tamiya kit mount to that other post there. So there you go. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. You could maybe bundle it up, but it just keeps it all together. And now it's just poking through the hole. As I say, we end up with, I've shown this numerous times, but some people may not have seen the video. So we've got a hole drilled through there. We drilled from that way, opened it up from that way. Unfortunately, where Tamiya mould the part, it's got like a bit of a grey edge on the back of it. But what that will do is it will go over that LED and end up like that. So the LED is in that hole, and when it's on, it lights up through there. Now I would show it lit up, but I would have to try and hold all that place. So this is what I was saying earlier onto another video. This is chrome, this is black, this is clear. The lenses have like a blue smoke to them like this does. I just think that this looks a bit bright in relation to the rest of the lenses, so I'm either gonna, what I might do on the back edge of this here is paint it black. So what that does is it causes the light that's around here. So basically when you look at it, you'll be looking at it, and if you imagine, you see my finger, even if I show you here, put that black on there, on one side, it just makes the edge of this dark like it is there. And this would typically have a rubber seal or some kind of seal to seal it to the body to stop water ingress, because obviously it's right at the front of the truck. Don't lose these parts, they're very easy. They're all part of the original kit. So that's it. That is the ServoNaut LV7FH16 Front Light unit for Tamiya Volvo FH16. Now this will fit the logger or the recovery truck, which has just come out at the time of this filming this video, which is July 2020. So yeah, because the fronts are exactly the same, it's just the rear. The rear comes with 90 centimeters of rear light. I'll give you a quick sneak peek. There's the rear ones. Now the elastic band is just holding it together. Again, there's a monstrous long wire on here, and these have 2 indicator lights in this section here, and they light up in sequence. Sorry, in here, so they light up 1, 2, 1, 2 when you provide power. So you just provide constant power and they go bump bump, but they will stay on. So most MFVCs provide a pulse, which it goes pulse off, pulse off. So on that pulse you're going to go on 1, 2, off, on 1, 2, off. So it'll go dum 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 dum. It gives you that effect of the light going to the side. And there, those if you wanted to know. So there's the fronts, and there's the rears. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. It seems to be what I'm forgetting of all my other videos, but I'm sure you know how to use YouTube these days. And I'll see you next time. Bye.